laying in my backyard, head is facing skyward. I'd imagine all the things that I could be.
My name is D'Artagnan Allange. I arrived at Yangzhou in November of 2017, and I'm the International Relations Operations Manager. I came to Shane right out of university. I had the identity crisis, I guess, of going to law school versus coming to China. It was a huge decision, right? I mean, because one, again, was very structured, known direction that has a very tangible, feasible route, whereas this was completely separate. The unknown that who knows what it could provide. So that was a really big one for me. And this was a success. This was definitely a correct call. Is it the correct call? I don't know. I don't know if there are any singular correct calls in life, but this was a really good opportunity, and this was not a wrong decision, and it wasn't less than going to law school. I feel like I can actually get to my goals more efficiently by actually staying here in China. It took me about a full semester, my senior year of college, my first semester specifically, where I was kind of grappling with this idea of the plan that I'd set forth of going to law school versus this goal and kind of dream that I had more than something that I thought could be a reality. And the fact that it could be a reality. It took me about a semester to grapple with. I have no idea. I have no idea where I'd be. I mean, I'd still be in school, right? I opened my first business this year. I have a lot of opportunity here. I've got to do a lot of development of our human resources department, creating our website, making our welcome packet, and our marketing resources. Like, I've gotten to do so many different jobs in the course of 2 years that I don't know. I have no idea what it would be like. I couldn't imagine it at this point. I figured, later in my life, I will have money, I'll want to go to Europe, I can do that at any time, but if I don't do China now, when would I have that opportunity again? I've always loved Chinese culture, so it wasn't just the time. It was the idea that I've always loved China, and why not, right? Why not? Because of the fact that I didn't have restraints. I grew up watching Chinese martial arts movies with my dad, typically with subtitles in English, and they were in Chinese, and always had a respect for Chinese culture, and so it was all of the above. It wasn't any one factor. My TFL program had a job placement service, and I found Shane through this job placement service. It ultimately ended up being how trustworthy Alex Zhao seemed. I was walking into a completely blind situation in a country that I'd never been in, and I didn't know what to expect. And honestly, a friendly, comfortable face that I felt like I could trust was the most important thing for me, and that's what he provided. Originally, it was the package, right? The package was just the best, and I was like, this seems reputable, this seems amazing. It was the trust, the honesty. But then once I got here, it was the opportunity. I told my boss, I was like, listen, I'll need time off my schedule, and I'll need a work computer. 3 days later, there was a computer sitting on my desk, and 2 weeks later, my time during the weekdays was cleared out so that I could do recruiting stuff. And I was like, wow, this seems like a place where they're really willing to kind of put in the time, the effort, and the money if something needs to happen and change. The trials of a first-year teacher and a second-year teacher are very different. When I first got here, it was being able to communicate. I'm a type A driven kind of person, and not being able to communicate and kind of control my own environment was very frustrating. And that changes, right? So my second year, I was feeling very comfortable here, and then it's starting to really understand Chinese culture. And what it's like to live here and be a member of the society and things like that, cultural norms and that once you can actually start speaking Chinese. There's like ebbs and flows when you're here of like you need to dig into Chinese culture and then you kind of pull back a little bit. And then that you kind of have to accept that when it happens. And when you feel like you're really disconnected and you don't know what's going on, you really need to hit the books, learn Chinese and get in there. And then there's times you're like, man, you feel like you're kind of losing yourself a little bit or something like that. You need to kind of come back into the things that you're already used to, the habits that you know. And I think it's natural. It's natural to feel like you're a part of the culture and then you're not a part of a culture back and forth. I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to be a businessman. And I've gotten to build a huge part of this business by myself. And so that's a really cool part that like I have the opportunity and a boss who's willing to back me up on that. I really think it's cool because this truly is one of those experiences that you can make it whatever you want and not have to worry about the two things that most people have to worry about in their job, and that's time and money, because both are good here.